The Kremlin said Wednesday that Russia has maintained contact with the new authorities in Syria. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that we are monitoring most closely what is happening in Syria. We, of course, maintain contacts with those who are currently controlling the situation in Syria, Peskov said in a conference call with reporters. This is necessary because our bases are located there, our diplomatic mission is located there and, of course, the issue related to ensuring the security of these facilities is extremely important and of primary significance. Peskov wouldn't give details of those contacts and didn't elaborate, saying only that Russia has contacted those who are controlling the situation on ground. He wouldn't give the number of troops Russia has in Syria. Asked to comment about Israel's moves, Peskov called them destabilizing. The strikes and actions in the Golan Heights area, in the buffer zone area, are unlikely to help stabilize the situation in an already destabilized Syria, he said.
Разумеется, сейчас внимательным образом отслеживаем все, что происходит в Сирии. Вы знаете, что мы, разумеется, поддерживаем контакты с теми, кто контролирует сейчас ситуацию в Сирии. Это необходимо, поскольку там находится наша база, там находится наше диппредставительство, и, конечно, вопрос, связанный с обеспечением безопасности этих наших объектов, чрезвычайно важны и носят первостепенное значение. Ну и будем дальше очень внимательно смотреть, и, конечно же, исходить из тех реалий, которые складываются на земле. Безусловно, нанесение ударов, действия в районе голландских высот, в районе буферной зоны, ну, скажем так, они вряд ли способствуют стабилизации обстановки в и так дестабилизированной Сирии.
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Tuesday that it was Syrian President Bashar Assad's personal decision to step down and leave his country. Leaving the process of fulfilling the duties of the head of state was Assad's personal decision. And everything else is without comment, Peskov said of the decision. Assad fled to Moscow and received asylum from his longtime ally, Russian media said Sunday, hours after a stunning rebel advance seized control of Damascus and ended his family's 50 years of iron rule. Thousands of Syrians poured into streets echoing with celebratory gunfire and waved the revolutionary flag in scenes that recalled the early days of the Arab Spring uprising, before a brutal crackdown and the rise of an insurgency plunged the country into a nearly 14-year civil war. The swiftly moving events raised questions about the future of the country and the wider region. Russia said Assad left Syria after negotiations with rebel groups and that he had given instructions to transfer power peacefully. Peskov also stressed Russia was continuing dialogue with all countries in the region following the recent developments in Syria. Now is the time for a deep analysis of the events taking place, and now it is difficult to predict the final outcome, so to speak, that will follow after this period of uncertainty, he added.
Какую роль Россия сыграла в доставке Башара Асада в Москву и вообще насколько участвовал в его уходе?
Ну, уход от, собственно, процесса исполнения обязанностей главы государства, это было личное решение Асада, а все остальное без комментариев. Слушайте, Россия продолжается, мы уже говорили, свой диалог со всеми региональными странами. Мы продолжим этот диалог. У нас есть пересечение интересов со многими странами, совпадение интересов с рядом государств региона. У нас весьма широкоформатное сотрудничество осуществляется, и торговое, и экономическое, и другое. И все эти процессы мы намерены продолжать.
Сейчас рисков не видите?
Безусловно, сейчас время глубокого анализа происходящих событий, и сейчас пока трудно предугадать окончательные формы, скажем так, которые последуют после этого периода неопределенности.
Я думаю, что внешние батарейки.
Ukrainian President Zelensky has handed over the first batch of the Peko missile drones to Ukraine's defense forces. The 700-kilometer range missile drone has twice the range of the UK-made Storm Shadow missile, which the West has denied Kyiv from firing at targets inside Russia. Long-range domestic weapons are seen as critical to Ukraine's defense strategy, providing the country's military with an alternative to Western arms whose use is often under restrictions. The new Ukrainian weapon, the Peko drone missile, could be used for strikes including against Moscow. This hell will reach Moscow. If there is a lot of this hell, then it will be hot in Moscow too. Let's see how it will be used, said military observer Denis Popovich on Radio NV. In his opinion, Peko is more like a cruise missile, but with reduced characteristics. There have already been reports in open sources about the approximate tactical and technical data, somewhere up to 700 kilometers range and a warhead weighing more than 50 kilograms, a very heavy artillery munition, quite destructive, plus an approximate speed of up to 700 kilometers per hour, Popovich noted. Anatoly Krapchinsky, a developer of Ukrainian defense systems, says a new missile drone called Peko Hell is designed to hit Russian ground targets. Ukraine has already used such a weapon to achieve first results. Krapchinsky expressed some doubts about the missile drone's capabilities of covering 700 kilometers, but noted its potential deployment under an aircraft's wing, making such ranges achievable. He believes the weapon will primarily be used against ground targets. This means strikes on ammunition depots and airfields to destroy stockpiles, technical units, or even concentrations of aircraft. It's worth noting that similar types of strike systems are already in use. As we see, Ukraine is producing highly effective systems and weapons, and we're getting results, Krapchinsky emphasized. Ukrainian Colonel Vladislav Zeleznyov said that Ukrainian defense industry has unveiled a missile weapon prototype that can be scaled up for production. The warhead of the Peko missile drone is not very large. According to indirect data, its warhead may weigh up to 40 kilograms. However, with a speed of 700 kilograms an hour and a range of 700 kilometers, these figures should terrify the Russians. If we can scale up its production, this relatively small missile drone, about 2 meters in length, can create true hell for Russian forces and equipment, he said on Espresso TV. According to him, a single missile of this kind would be enough to turn a modern Russian army aircraft within a range into a pile of burned scrap metal. Perhaps this is why the Russians have hurriedly begun constructing protective structures at their airfields to safeguard their aircraft and other valuable equipment and weapons from the impact of Ukrainian missiles.